Thank you for joining me today, Carly. I really appreciate you sitting down with me and just having this one-on-one discussion. So my first question for you is, growing up, what made you choose golf as the sport that you kind of wanted to make a career out of it almost?
Yeah, so I grew up in Greenwood, Mississippi. It was a super small town. We had just moved there for my dad's job, and with his job, he got a country club membership. So, since there was not a lot of things to do in the town, I spent my summers playing golf, and he taught me how to play golf. And he saw it as a way, too, to get me and my sister involved in the game, and hopefully it would help us down the road in our business careers. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with competing, and I saw it as an opportunity to play, to get a college degree. And so I kind of just stuck with it since then. So it's probably been like 12 years since I started. So I've fallen in love with it, and I don't regret starting at all.
And what, like with golf, what kind of would you say is kind of different between training with golf and, looking at other sports and training for those ones?
Yeah, it's a huge mental sport. That's definitely part of my game that's grown the most since I've been here. You could have a great year with golf, you could have a bad year with golf, physically not scoring well, but the mental game is all between the ears, and it's a really hard thing to accomplish and get better at. But it takes a lot of mental training in golf, and you don't see that. You see that some in other sports, but not as much. You're just kind of by yourself for 4 hours out there on the course, and there's a lot of things you can say to yourself. So the more positive things, the better.
And that was actually something I was going to go into next, is like the mental training, the preparation that goes into it, with mental health being such a big thing in the past couple of years. How have you taken that into consideration when you're preparing for games and stuff?
Yeah, you go out there, it's different too, because it's an individual sport that kind of, when you go to college, it becomes a team sport. So it's been cool the past 4 years to be on a team. I've never really been on a team. I only played volleyball there for a little bit, so I never really got the team aspect so much. And it's weird to be warming up and practicing with your team all week and then go to a tournament and be by yourself. And like I said, having just your thoughts to yourself and what you're going to say to yourself. So it's a lot of camaraderie too, and like encouraging your teammates too in practice and beforehand. Like, how can we get our mindset right before we get out there and we're by ourselves the whole rest of the time. So it's definitely challenging, but I think we have figured it out a little bit there.
And what do you say is your favorite thing about having that team aspect and being able to go and compete, come in as a team, but then being able to compete individually?
Yeah, it's been awesome, especially last spring season. I really saw it when we won the conference championship. It was just awesome that we all. It's weird too with golf, since like I said, you're by yourself, that you don't get to see your teammates, you don't get to talk to your teammates while you're playing so much. So sometimes, especially in the conference championship, when we saw each other across the holes, we would yell at each other like, go Dukes, or like this or that. And we started doing a thing where after every hole, we would like wave to our teammates, kind of like a mental check-in too, to be like, hey, like that might have been a great hole or it might have been a really bad hole, but like I'm good, you should be good too, let's keep doing it. Like we just kind of, it's hard with golf to make it team sport and kind of do those things, but we kind of found a way around it. And also going off of that too, just in the last conference championship we competed in, it was Easter, so a fun way to make it like more of a team, like checking in. We all set Easter eggs after every hole, and then when my teammates came through, they were able to see those Easter eggs and be like, oh, this is so fun. So we've definitely made it a team sport for sure, not just an individual.
And speaking of last year's CAA championship, with everything that happened this year with the transition from the CAA to the Sun Belt and not being able to compete, how are you cherishing last year's championship so much differently now?
It was really awesome to be able to do that. And I came here my freshman year, and there was never really a chance kind of that we were going to be able to have a chance to win. And last spring season, at least with COVID, it was hard because it was just kind of us. It was just our team. We were kind of in a bubble, and we didn't have an assistant coach. So it was just our head coach and us, and we were traveling, doing everything together. We really became more like a family then too, because we were just hanging out with each other. But the way we all kind of grew together that season, it just made sense that we won, if that makes sense. Like we just relied on each other and depended on each other so much that I think that was why we saw success, and it was one of the best moments of my career so far.
And how has it been watching the program grow from your freshman year? You said y'all didn't really have a chance of winning a championship, so being able to watch that growth, how was that?
Yeah, like I said, our freshman year, we didn't really have a chance at winning. And after the end of that round of my freshman year, the last round of my freshman year, there was a little bridge by the 18th green that I was walking with my coach, and I was pretty upset with how I had finished and how the team had finished. And he said, Carly, I'm going to really need your help the next few years in changing the culture of this place. And there's just a lot of negative energy that we need to change and refocus. And it was kind of crazy too, because this past conference championship was at the same place. I was able to kind of relive that moment, like how awesome it's been. Like I was looking at that bridge and I was like, how much I've done, like the people my age have done too. My roommate Kate too, like how much we've done to change the mindset of this program. And there's just so much more positive energy, so much more team oriented. Not so much playing for yourself, but playing for JMU, the whole team. It's been awesome to see, just especially too when the freshmen come in, like how can we change their mindset? How can we make them realize like this is a team sport now? It's no longer just you. And it's really cool to see this happen, and I hope it really continues for the next few years.
You spoke about shifting the culture, and that's something else I want to talk to you about, your work with the Student Athletic Advisory Committee.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say that your work has shifted the culture of the entire JMU athletics and not just within your team itself?
It's been awesome. I really got involved in SAC not knowing what it was going to do for me. I kind of just became a representative my freshman year. I wanted to know more information about what was going on within JMU athletics, and it helped me really get to know a lot of people within athletics, and I was able to work my way up to be on the executive board as the communications co-chair with Amanda Nord, and it's been awesome to just get to know everyone and be able to help enforce change too, especially the past few years. And I think we've done a lot to help the culture and just to get people more involved. Just like I said, with the Duke's Lead programs too as well, we've been able to create new ideas and ways to get athletes involved, exposed to different social injustice movements, different LGBTQ things. It's been really cool to see all that happen.
And how would you say your success on the field kind of translate into the classroom as well? Because you are a student athlete first, so how would you say that process?
Yeah, I would say my freshman year I didn't get off to too hot of a start of learning how to do being a student and being an athlete at the same time. I had a big adjustment there, and I kind of came in with a major too that I wasn't too happy about. I wasn't really comfortable with. My sophomore year, I kind of learned more of the work hard, play hard mentality of, you got to get the grades to travel, and if you travel, then it's going to take a few more hours of tutoring, extra studying to make it all happen. So it's definitely been a mindset change. I'm in a major that I'm so happy that I changed to, and I've seen success in both areas. It's been cool.
And your professional career, let's get into that. So, a lot of people look at student athletes and they think their career stops after they finish college. So how have you set yourself up for success, and how has JMU set you up for success post-graduation?
I can't say enough things about the Duke's Lead program. I really think I took full advantage of the things that were offered here. Meredith Crawford, the head of Student Athlete Services, she kind of got me involved in the NCAA. There was an NCAA Career in Sports Forum that was student athletes could apply to. I applied to it. I really wanted to get into it because I knew I wanted to work in sports. I didn't know really in what aspect I wanted to work in the sports. So I got accepted into that forum, and it was virtual at the time, but I took the opportunity to really get to network and learn more about different opportunities in sports, especially for women to work in. And after that, I then did the NCAA Student Athlete Leadership Forum. And so after that, I then did another student athlete leadership training with the NCAA. And so in all these forums, there was mentioned about an NCAA postgraduate internship program. And I also had a mentor over the summer, Matt Goff, that had helped me kind of just to get to know more about what I want to do in my career. And I applied for the program, and I was accepted as a brand strategy intern. So I'll be doing that after I leave JMU. And I'm really excited. I'm glad I took full opportunity. I took full advantage of what was offered here, because there are so many great things that are offered here, and I would not have known about some of those things unless it was for JMU athletics. So I think everything I've done here has really prepared me well for what my next step is.
And what kind of stuff have you gotten involved in during your time at JMU? Because I know a lot of people look at stuff outside of or after graduation, but what have you done while you were playing golf and being a student athlete?
So when I switched my major, I kind of wanted to, and especially with COVID, that was around the same time, when we were finally able to come back to campus, I kind of wanted to get involved in my major more, kind of step away from athletics so I would know more people outside of athletics. And I got involved in the Public Relations Student Society of America, and then I also got involved in Lambda Pi Eta, which is the National Communications Honor Society. In those two groups, I got to know a lot of people within my major, kind of able to work with them on projects and things like that. And I think that helped me get a little bit more well-rounded to not just always be in athletics and always hang around student athletes, but give me the other perspective of what other students at JMU go through and stuff. And like you had mentioned, the student athlete advisory committee I also got involved in. And then this past year I was on the Madison Royal Court too. That was really cool to be a part of that.
So just final question, kind of final thoughts. How would you say your JMU experience has been overall?
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience. I cannot imagine myself being anywhere these past 4 years, and I really wish I could be here longer. I never want to leave, but it's really been an honor these past few years to be a teammate, to be on a team, to be involved in athletics, just to be a Duke, honestly. And I will never forget the memories and the things like this I've been able to do here.
Well, thank you so much again, Carly, for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.